The US Masters starts on Thursday, and it's always a great tournament for taking advantage of the enhanced each way promos that some bookies offer. If you're not familiar with that kind of promo, we do have this lesson about it in the promo strategies course. It's even got a video at the bottom which goes through some things. But just to give you a quick overview, essentially what happens is with each way bets, you're betting on the player to win and also to place. And in these situations, the bookies offer enhanced terms for the place part of that bet. So with golf, it's extra places. So usually in a golf tournament, if you're betting on a player to place, that means that you're betting on him to finish in the top 5. With some bookies, they will pay you out if the player finishes in the top 6, 7, or even 8 with these enhanced terms. So Bet365 is the best bookie for this, and they pay to 8 places on the US Open. And what that does is it allows us to create an arbitrage situation between the place market at Bet365 and on Betfair. And I'll go through a quick example of how that works. But if you're looking to do this yourself, I recommend having a read through of this lesson here, but also clicking on the spreadsheet that we've got here. So I'll just open this up. It's a pretty basic spreadsheet. It's open to anyone, and if you want to be able to edit it, you need to go to File and make a copy, so you can make your own editable copy. So what we're going to look at, well actually I'm going to jump ahead here and say for most people this is just a process of going through the Bet365 market, looking at the odds and comparing it to the Betfair market that we've got here. You're looking for close matches, usually higher odds, usually above 30 or 40, which is most players in golf are better. You're less likely to find a good match on Scotty Scheffler for this one. But that would be your usual process. If you have our pro membership, we do have our Golf Extra Play software, and it is active. It only gets activated for the majors, and it's now active for the US Masters. And what I should point out is that these numbers are based on unit stakes. So what that top one is saying is that for every unit that you bet, you will make 0.9 units of profit, which is pretty huge. And we'll just look at how that works now. So we've got this player, Austin Eckroat. We can back him at 251 on Bet365. There he is there at 251. And we've got way odds of 340 on Betfair. So let's just see if we can find him here. There we go, way odds of 340. And if we come over to our spreadsheet, we can put those numbers in. So 251 and way odds of 340. And it's automatically going to calculate our bookmaker place odds. So if we come up to the top here, we can see that for each way, for the place part of these bets, Bet365 are going to pay us at 1/5 odds. So 1/5 of odds of 251 is 51. And that's what we've got there. The way odds for the place, you can see here we can put in either the top 5 or the top 8. And that's because there's 2 different ways to play this type of promo. So we can either go for an arbitrage situation or a middle situation. So let's look at the middle first, because that's the one that gets the more exciting potential payout. So we want to look at the top 5 market and find Austin Eckroat. Here he is here. So he's at 40 for the top 5 finish. So we're going to put in odds of 40 here. And over here it's going to give us some numbers. So we can see that if he wins, we're going to lose 86 cents if we've placed that bet. Same for if he places, and same if he doesn't place. The only one that's different is this extra place situation. So what we would be doing here, we'd be placing our each way bet on Bet365. We'd then bet against them to win with a 738 stake. and we'd bet against them to place in the top 5 with this 12.77 stake. What happens, or where it gets interesting, is if he finishes in 6th, 7th or 8th, because in that situation, Bet365 is paying us as a winner for our place bet, but we're also winning at Betfair because he hasn't finished in the top 5. And if that happens, we're going to make $509.14 because we've hit that middle of that 6th, 7th or 8th place. So we've risked 86 cents for a chance of winning 509. So there's lots of value in that bet there. The other way that we could play it, and this is how you kind of verify that it is value, is we can go to the top 8 finish market. And again, we just come down and find them somewhere. Here we go. So we can lay them for 22 for top 8. So let's change that to top 8. And if we do this, there's no chance of a double payout because we're backing and laying the same thing. So no double payout. So this extra place, this is irrelevant in this situation. But we can log in $9.09 off of a $10 each way stake. So that's obviously a fantastic return based on the amount of outlay at the bookie. But the other thing that you have to take into consideration is your outlay at Betfair. So the total Betfair liability for this bet is almost $3,000. So it's not going to be something that everyone can do. And if you don't have the bankroll to have $3,000 tied up over the weekend, this bet's going to be in place until Sunday night, Monday morning, then obviously you should be prioritising horse racing and everything else. But if you do have that additional bankroll available, then you can log in a pretty nice return off of just that $20 bet, $10 each way at Bet365. And the great thing about this kind of bet is that we can actually bet on multiple players without increasing our overall liability. Because only one player can win the tournament, when you're placing that one that's got the big liability in the win market, if I was to bet on a second player or a third player, the total liability that I have is only going to be the liability for the player at the highest odds, because only one can win. So it allows us to get multiple bets on. And with this one, if you're doing the top 5 option, we've also got Unibet. They pay to 7 places, so it's not quite as good as Bet365, and it also isn't arbable because there's no top 7 market on Betfair. But we can go for the middle option where we're laying top 5 and hoping for 6th or 7th. So we've got a couple of bookies to work with there. Sportsbet also pay an extra place, but they only go to 6th, so there's usually very little value or no value in those ones. Bet365 and Unibet are definitely where you want to go. And if you have a look at the software, you can see that Austin Eckroat is an exceptional option at the moment. No one's quite near him, but we have multiple plus EV options. And it's usual it's not unusual for people to bet on multiple players on golf. So placing 2, 3, 4, even 5 bets on Bet365 shouldn't be an issue as long as you're not going too big on the stakes. But again, given the liabilities required, you are talking about $10, $20, $30 bets. So it's not going to stand out if you're placing a few of them on the biggest golf tournament of the year. So yeah, it's an extra way if you've got that bankroll, an additional way just to turn it over, make some easy profit. If you do have the pro software, then it's dead easy because everything's flagged up for you here. But even if you don't, you can just manually take a scan through these markets and look for anyone who has odds similar between Betfair and Bet365 and do the maths using the calculator that you can find in our promo strategy course. So yeah, hopefully some of you can use that to make some extra money this week. Cheers.